Well, the trenches in Sanctuary Wood. The actual shape of them is very good, because you can imagine the cut like this. Anybody standing here would only be able to shoot at men there, possibly over there, but not all the way directly down the trench. Also, in the side of the over here is obviously a dugout, either for officers or for command post or for the wounded, so that they can be taken in there in some sort of sanctuary away from the main combat. Here we are in Bioworld. It's at the bottom of the hill. The German positions went all the way up there. This is a communication trench just behind the lines. The actual front line was just down there to my right hand side, about 100 metres, and that's as far as the Germans got in Second Ypres, and from there we were actually laying siege to them, and they were stopping us from getting up the hill until the Battle of Messines Ridge. You'll see it's been restored very well indeed, and of course, as you can see, even I'm 5'10", so it's just a little bit lower than I am. Because the water table is so high here, they wouldn't have gone down any farther than this, but around here they would have had a lot of sandbags piled high, so that people wouldn't be hit by snipers who were very, very active on every sector, trying to hit your opponent. There's lots of twists and turns in every trench system to stop people getting killed by a blast going off and travelling the whole length of the system, or somebody attacking you and being able to stand with a machine gun and fire straight down the system. So therefore there are twists, bends and turns, so that you don't actually have a lot of people killed at one time. Big problem though is when you're trying to get out your men on stretchers, because it's very awkward to move a man around a corner, which is why on one very famous British film you'll see a chap being actually taken around a corner carrying a man on his back, because it's far easier to move him that way. Okay, here I am again standing in the German trench. Now this, as we first spoke about, is a communication trench, and it's behind the front line. If it was on the front line, we would expect something very similar to this. We would expect sandbags up to about here, and then various loops. And also, a very, very important thing, you'd find a fire step. So men could stand on that fire step and fire from it. To my right down here, as you can see, we have various alleyways just going on. The first one in this trench system leads to another German bunker. The next one could lead to a weapons area, a mortar area. These were very dangerous weapons, not only to the enemy, but sometimes to the actual crew who manned them. Because if there was an explosion, therefore, in that area, it wouldn't again go all the way through the trench. They were also used for bombing parties. The men would get together in that area with their boxes of grenades, unarmed, and arm them, put the fuses in, make them live. But of course there were accidents on both the German and British and all the armies who fought, where these grenades were dropped because of mud, or because of carelessness, because of tiredness of the men, and when one went off it could have an enormous ripple effect of explosion. And so therefore they quickly learned to put such dangerous weapons in a separate area from the trenches to minimise the amount of damage that would be done to the men. Here we are in a very, very attractive valley near Mount Kemmel. This is one of the British headquarters site of, which as you can see were dug into the side of the mount itself to get afford protection for the men here against the German trenches and the German lines and artillery, which were over this hill about half a mile away, just on the edge of the village. And up from there you go up to the hill just overlooking the whole of the valley around Ypres. Here we have an example of a German bunker system. There's one here and then one down there. This would have been used by the headquarters of the unit who were stationed in the main trench system farther up. So the men would have been relieved. These would have been used by the officers, by the medical officers to treat the wounded. The Germans, very generally, and it is a generalisation, did build their trenches with a bit more care and attention to the British for the very reason that we were trying to eject them from Allied soil. The Germans were quite happy to sit and wait for the Allies to batter themselves against their very cleverly constructed systems of trenches. Behind me is one of the German strong points, which we marked on the map as Tyne Cottage, or Tyne Cot, hence the name of the cemetery. It was a strong point with machine guns giving murderous fire obliquely that way, with its brother or sister emplacement at that side giving fire again at angles. Why at angles? But it's far easier, you hit more men if you're firing at a line coming at you like that, so it's going the whole length of the line, than it is if they're coming at you singly. These were not just by themselves, but there would be machine gun nests all the way along here, giving a murderous crossfire into which the Allied soldiers advanced.